So let's get real for a second, fuck 2019, and let's get realer for another second, fuck 2020, because our luck isn't going to change because of the fact that the arbitrary date you write under your heading is now 2 digits different. For that reason, I've quickly compiled all of my future excuses into a list. That way, when the next year rolls around, I don't have to justify how I ended up right fucking here. Yeah, this isn't my footage. Fucking shocker, right? I guess that's what happens when a company takes a perfectly ripe business IP and lights it on fire before I could take a picture for posterity. PT was a playable little creation by Japanese auteur developer Hideo Kojima as a teaser, or playable teaser, if you will, for a reboot of the Silent Hill series, until they dumpstered the fucking thing and deleted the game from the internet because nice things aren't for people like you and me. You remember that Junji Ito classic story, Uzumaki? Well, you better have, because I don't fucking read. It was a scary Japanese story about the concept of a spiral, and how if you repeat something enough times, it could become horrifying. Now imagine that, but instead of a spiral, it was your grandma's house. This is made all the sadder by its cancellation, but just to rub salt in the wound, if you really think about it, Silent Hills probably would have been out by now. I won't act like everyone who matters hasn't already made a better video about why this game was so good, but the best I can do is parakeet their best ideas and pretend I'm intelligent. Hell, I literally liked this demo so much that I actually paid a $5 lolly voice actress to read out the in-game radio.
His 6-year-old daughter had the good sense to hide in the bathroom, but reports suggest he lured her out by telling her it was just a game. The girl was found shot once in the chest from point-blank range.
His 6-year-old daughter had the good sense to hide in the bathroom, but reports suggested he lured her out by telling her it was just a game. The girl was found shot once in the chest from point-blank range.
Don't touch that dial now, we're just getting started.
Don't touch that dial now, we're just getting started.
204863.
204863.
I swear to God, if this was 2018, I would have had a much bigger field day with this monstrosity. Square Enix seems to have passed the controller to their little brother in recent years because every decision they've made seems to be both bewildering and covered in snot. The premise that sells this abomination is that the main character is deaf, so you are too. Every character makes a little muffled twinkling sound instead of words, except the problem, you see, the protagonist clearly knows what's going on. Either that or he's just the most polite man on earth. It's less like they made a story to be understood without words, and more so that they made a movie and then just removed the audio. Not to mention the game seems to think it's a fucking Netflix special because these cutscenes and live-action monologues last around 5 to 10 minutes. What you get is a story you can't understand and a brawler that is incompetent at best and fucking E.T. for the Atari at worst. The gameplay is so simple it's not even worth talking about. You press square and sometimes watch the weird kid from high school pull out a jump kick. Imagine I asked you to watch John Mulaney stand up, muted the video, and then punched you in the face a couple of times. That's the Quiet Man experience. Give me some Grey Goose. Me and my dad have about as good a relationship as you can manage. He went far away and sends me money not to follow him. That's why I was just so happy when I could then spend that money on what is essentially a burnt-out dad simulator. Firewatch is probably about as peaceful a game as you can get. You walk in the woods, touch stuff, and talk to your passive-aggressive coworker on the phone because real-life contact is scary. What I like about this game is that there's no clear direction, just you, a map, and a compass, and I can get wasted for hours walking around bugging my superior about shit I just found laying in the woods. Not only that, but it's got a reasonably warm color palette and a unique charm to it that might actually help inspire you to keep sending me those checks. There's something vaguely depressing about No Man's Sky, both in-game and out. Firstly, there's the Konami level scheme to release something inferior, then just hope it just sort of prints money after you bully it enough. And then there's the game itself, which is the video game equivalent of corporate music. Bland, uninteresting, and constantly pretending like it's more than it is. A hollow imitation that uses copy-paste philosophy to make me believe it's got a soul. Which is why I felt so weird when I reinstalled it and then found out they remade the game for a community that isn't around anymore, so I can play with my friends now if they stop paying money for me to stay far away from them. Overwatch. I missed you a bit. I feel like it was only yesterday when you got a small child to call me the N-word. To be frank, playing Overwatch now is a lot like relapsing. You play the game to the point where you were pretty good at it, then go cold turkey, and now it's just kinda here. Granted, the game is pretty stressful to play, especially at the higher levels where people are not only cunts, but they have evidence to help believe that they're cunts. Though, to be fair, in a competition to have the worst fan base ever, Overwatch only takes silver in that respect. Now I'm replaying it only to find some things the same and others vastly different. Like returning home only to find that your family has been replaced by aliens, but all they do is leave the dishes in the sink. I know that the community probably likes the whole role queue thing where you need to choose if you'll play damage, tank, or simp before each game, but the way doing so locks you out of 2 of the 3 playable heroes feels like Blizzard was taking the easy way out in terms of balance. Now starting up a match feels like waiting in line at the DMV where I have my perfectly patented Blizzard trademarked box waiting for me. I think this is the point where these games start to say more about me than I'd like, and they're usually saying that I should be hit with a combine harvester the next time I leave my house. Night in the Woods is a very good story. It's heartwarming, the art pops out, and the music makes me wonder what it'd feel like to grow up in a town where everyone is the state of a midlife crisis, but it also wasn't afraid to be cool. I almost struggle to find bad things to say about it, maybe just ignore the bit where the composer killed himself. I'm the type of guy that doesn't do D&D, mainly because I take showers, but also because it seems like a very labyrinthian experience of character sheets, dice rolls, and holding your nose. So when I found out some cheap knockoff of D&D was on sale on PSN for $3, I obliged. To put it bluntly, Moonhunters is a game where you and a few friends pick up a few heroes and embark on a bite-sized journey that can be completed in roughly 45 minutes. The choices you make will shape what happens later alongside a decent upgrade system, and if you can somehow discern what the hell the story is about, then you're smarter than I. Because in-depth storytelling isn't exactly meant for the moments you and a bunch of fellas are loudly talking over one another. But there's charm to be found by getting the homies together and setting each other on fire while getting the eternal blessing from Jeb Bush. Maybe one day I'll even find out what that charm feels like when they start returning my calls. What? They added sound? Okay, never mind, we're doing round 2. So follow me here. This game is actually about a guy...
He tried to fuck his mom.
And that is what started this whole chain of nonsense. It baffles me when I look at this story, not only because it fails to capture the meaning without sound, but it actually goes backwards in quality when they add it back in.
Why can't I hear? What? Why can't I hear? What?
And the out-of-shape fat guy was the bad guy at the end, but he was also your dad, also you killed the wrong guy, also bird masks turn you into superheroes, but also superheroes need fucking nightsticks. And I'm not going to explain to you more than that, because it is an inane series of betrayals and confusions that almost never revolve around the deafness gimmick, and I'm not subjecting myself to unraveling the mind of a writer who created a me and decided it should be the protagonist of their story. This is only here because it's the one genuine game that I think deserves any sense of merit in terms of the whole decade. It basically spearheaded a new style of game that would go on to influence almost everything in some way, and the fact that it survived all 10 years without ever going out of style is a testament to that. That's why I can subtly hide that this is my game of the decade. Wait, 2008?